Last time on this strange campaign.
The whole town is at stake with what we found deep in those catacombs.
We must warn the town folk that danger is afoot. To assemble your legions to fight against the darkness that lies below.
This elven woman has seemed to have slipped our grasp. No one can find her in town. So we've got a real situation. We've potentially got a fugitive on our hands. Cal finds himself suddenly and humiliatingly buck-ass nude in front of the captain of the guard that he so much looks up to.
How impressed is the captain, though? Maybe it's an embarrassing moment, but is he like, I mean, whoa, good for Cal.
Does Maximon still have that circle ball?
Yes, he does. He also has the book and the cloak.
Oh, okay.
Everything.
Okay, so the orb, I'm really protective over. So, like, right, that's the one that I have the psychic connection with. So I take out. I'm kind of hiding the orb, just kind of like keeping it very close to me, greedily, and I hand them the book. I'm like, ashamed, but understanding that this could be a learning experience. Like, I couldn't read this. Do you know somebody who can?
It's written in Espruar, our mortal mind's attempts at putting deep speech into writing. This is the dark and quite powerful language of creatures from another realm.
I fear that this language relates back to the darkness my people fought long ago.
I've read ancient tomes of the aquatic races, but they were supposed to have vanished nearly 1,500 years ago.
So, are you telling me then I am all alone? All of my people are gone?
As far as the official texts written and inscribed, the aquatic races have never been seen in these lands for at least an eon and a half. You are living, breathing proof that we are wrong.
It does not feel as though I am all alone. I don't think my people can be fought off so easily.
Belwyn, you said down there that it seemed that you have seen this cult before. That would mean that they're ancient.
Yes, their ties could be deeper than we know.
Lord Mayor, we have a situation out front. The mob glances at each other, their fingers nervously moving on the hilts of their weapons, half nervous, half excited. You can see the bloodlust in their eyes.
Belwyn says out loud to, I guess, whoever's around, he's like, this petty battle of people does not concern me. And he just takes a seat on the steps.
Seeing his opportunity to strike at the priest, Asher walks over to Alon and with his greatsword makes one great swing. Oh, connecting.
Oh no, I don't like this guy. We went on an adventure with him. He can't die.
Man, okay. I feel like Belwyn is gonna be driven to turtle rage here. So I don't have any actual rages left, or else I feel like I would go into a rage. So I'm just gonna continue to do a reckless attack. So the guy in front of me got totally wrecked, right? By the dwarf.
Yeah, he got his head taken clean off. The guy you drove your lance through got his head taken clean off by Hosh.
Okay, so could you give me a little summary of who are the three closest targets to me?
So you're standing pretty close to Asher and Alon, and also standing pretty close to Maximon and the woman who is swinging at him. You're just a little bit closer to Asher and Alon, about probably 10 feet from them. You're probably about 15 from where Maximon and this woman are duking it out.
So, something I haven't told you guys about my lance, or haven't made clear yet, is that it's not just like a spear, it's like a really large spear. Specifically one that like the size
It's
that
not
someone
just any spear.
It's a big spear. No, it's like one that someone would use on like a horse or something. Like it's if not the same type of thing, it's that big, you know? I can use it at a 10-foot distance if I want. I guess I'm gonna attack him from 10 feet away, but I just realized, guys, I've been doing this wrong. I'm supposed to have disadvantage when I'm fighting someone like right next to me. Like this thing is specifically meant for fighting.
Oh, so
people that have-
it's a reach weapon. I'll roll with it because you were approaching that guy that you stabbed from 20 feet away. So it's
So I
essentially
kind of like, yeah.
you ran up on him, and when you were at distance, you threw it out and stabbed him
Wow.
with it.
Okay. All right. Cool. So what I'm gonna imagine doing though is like I'm gonna do one of those like overhead like jump swingy things. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm gonna imagine that that's how this attack, 10-foot attack, is doing, and it's I'm going at it recklessly. So this is gonna be a attacks next turn against me also have advantage, but I'm gonna have advantage right now.
All right, so you're attacking Asher with this reckless attack.
Yeah, I'm trying to save Alon. Yeah, so I got a 24. Wait. Oh my gosh, yeah, I did get a natural 20.
All right, so you're going to do a critical
Nice.
hit. So what I want you to do for that is roll your normal attack die, but then take the maximum value of that attack die and add it to whatever you roll.
Okay, got it. So I actually didn't roll very high. I rolled a 4 plus 2 is 6. But I get 6 plus the 12.
So you do 18 damage. Holy
That's
shit.
so big hit.
So you jump up high and you just send that lance straight through Asher's midsection, like right through his waist, and it goes right through him and right into the ground behind him and like pins him to that spot. And just like the guy you stabbed with the lance earlier, like you go through so fast and so quick and clean that like they don't even have a chance to react. He just is like staring at you with your lance right through his section. He is still alive, but just barely. You spin and pull it out and you have it at the ready. You put a huge blow right through his midsection and you can just see blood and some entrails like trailing out of this massive hole you just opened up in his belly. And with that, it is Belwyn's turn.
What's the battlefield like right now?
There is a body on its knees with its head lopped off. There is a huge pool of blood where a human being was literally blown to pieces by a magical mace. From where you're standing, looking down the path, there's a guy to the left, behind the trees, the row of trees to the left. He's the guy with the crossbow who keeps popping off shots at you, trying to line up a shot. He's probably like 35 feet away. To get to him, you'd have to do like basically your whole turn would be like getting into him. He's a little too far away for you to get to him and do an attack.
Mhm.
The woman who shot Alon with her crossbow, who's like really bad at it, who's been fumbling with it, she's only about 20 feet away. She's using this little side barracks building as her cover, and that's about 20 feet away to your right, off the right side of the trail. The woman who's dueling with Maximon is about like 10 feet in front of you, and Asher and Alon and now Cal are about 20-ish feet in front of you, down the path a little further. The closest little scuffle to you is Maximon and the woman.
Oh man, what's Belwyn gonna do? So the priest is pretty badly done up right now, right?
Yeah, he's not looking too good.
How far is he from me?
He's about 20 feet from you. So he's closer to you than Asher is. It's essentially like a triangle of Alon is like ahead and just a tiny bit on the left side of the trail. Asher's like dead in the center but further down, and then Cal is to your right. So like Cal jumped, stabbed him, and then spun and pulled his lance out and is now like just to like the right, on the right side of the trail road. And so there's like almost a little triangle of like Asher at the point and then Alon and Cal at the two like left and right flanks. But that triangle is about, like 20, 25-ish feet away from you.
I think Belwyn just gets up and walks up to Alon, the priest, and uses lay on hands to heal him. So yeah, he just gets up and walks through the battlefield all turtle calm. I'll heal him all I got now, so that's +7. I say you've done well.
Healing him, you see that the blood under his robes, it seems to be gushing less heavily now, and you sense that the wounds under the robes have kind of sealed a little bit with your magical touch. And you see actually the bolt drop from his side, and it seems to have been like magically sort of like chopped off, similar to the way that the splinter of wood that was sticking out of the bartender was sort of like cauterized off by your magic. Alon seems pretty revigorated. He's feeling much more refreshed, and he seems more resolved in his commitment to trying to end this peacefully. And with that, we go to Hosh, who, wielding his great battle axe, has managed to come around the side of the tree. No one was really paying attention. He lopped the head off that boy, and then he sort of sneered at Belwyn and Alon in their pacifist approach. But in that time that everyone was watching Alon being brutally attacked by these bandits, Hosh used the moment to sneak around that tree that the bandit was shooting at Belwyn from. He makes a swing to the back of that bandit who hasn't even seen him coming. He swings with advantage, and his attack connects, and he deals a chunky blow with that great axe right to the midsection of the bandit, smacking him up against the tree, but biting deep into his side, dealing 7 damage to an already pretty scrawny bandit. He is looking real bad, real wounded. That axe bit deep, and he is now bleeding super heavily. And his attention is now taken off of the battlefield and away from Belwyn. Maximon, it is now your turn.
This woman's still standing right next to me.
Yeah, she's committed.
I'm just gonna try a mace and other thing again.
Same
if I
deal?
can. That was effective. Yeah.
Roll the attack for the mace first, and then we'll do the damage for the spell.
It was an 11.
Yeah, that hits.
Oh, tight. And I got a 2 on the damage.
All right. Well, you still connect with her, and she takes another chunky hit. It's the second hit you've dealt her. This one comes with if the first one was a forehand swing, if we're talking tennis, like a forehand right to the chest, this one's a backhand swing, like right to the small of the back, and you hear some crack and crunch from the spine as your mace makes connection with the small of her back. She grunts as you hit her and kind of stumbles forward with the weight of the blow. Now roll damage on that bone hand.
Alrighty. Only a 3.
How do you kill Asher?
I absolutely barrel in down with that hand and rip up. Can I do that? Why not?
Yeah.
So we can do tendons and stuff.
I've got an idea for it. So the hand
Please.
The hand disengages from that shoulder that it basically just tore completely, almost through the entire arm, and it sort of pulls back, and it makes itself into a sort of, if you take your fingers and you just meet them all together at a point, like all the points of your fingers meet, thumb, pointer finger, pinky, ring, and you make sort of like a cone shape with your hand. It
Sure.
forms into that shape, and it goes barreling straight for his open and surprised mouth. He's still got his mouth wide open from when he got stabbed by that lance. Straight for the mouth and deep down the throat, finding his spine inside of his throat, pulling the spine and the throat out with it. But it doesn't pull it all the way out. It just pulls it like a foot out and then loosens its grip. And Asher just with a length of his spine and throat sticking out of his mouth, he just keels over and just completely dead. And with the sight of this gruesome like Mortal Kombat style finishing move on their leader, all the other bandits, they drop their weapons. They drop their weapons and they get to their knees and they, have their hands out at their side and they're like, we give up. You've horrifically murdered 3 of us. And with that, they surrender.
Oh, wow. For a second, the whole time I was thinking of Master Hand from Super Smash Brothers, but he really hit us with that Mortal Kombat. Very upsetting.
how do you react to the aftermath of this carnage?
I'm like smiling. I'm having honestly a great time.
Belwyn stands up and he, after healing the priest, just kind of says like, this was a foolish squabble. You all wish to protect this town, yet you fight those who inhabit it. It makes no sense. When greater darkness lies beyond your town, you should not be fighting inward, but looking outward.
You hear from the direction of the forest, you hear from where Hosh and the bandit with the crossbow were, you hear like coughing and gurgling, and you remember that Hosh's axe bit deep into this bandit. You see he pulls the axe out hard, and he is absolutely furious at Belwyn. He pulls the axe out, and he grabs the bandit by the throat, and he starts the axe in one hand and the bandit by the throat in the other, starts marching over towards Belwyn, red in the face, just furious, his strength being fueled completely by rage. And he throws the bandit in the dirt in front of Belwyn. These fuckers have been calling us freaks and evil and cursed. They take one look at you and they call you turtle people or creature or pet. They don't deserve our mercy or our kindness. They are a plague, and I look forward to the next opportunity to paint the streets with their blood.
Ooh.
Dang. Wow. Passionate.
Does anyone else? But
Belwyn goes back in his turtle shell.
Belwyn, I guess, just says, what does Belwyn say?
Yeah, this seems kind of like a Belwyn moment. Like, Cal is just...
Yeah. Dwarf, your anger will get you nowhere. There are other ways to deal with these types of matters.
Make a strength saving throw.
Oh. 9.
Hearing you say that, Hosh just immediately hits you right in the face and knocks you on your turtle butt, and you take 1 damage. And with that, he wheels around and just starts stomping off. But he shouts back. He sees that, at this moment, the guards have sort of peeked out the windows and have kind of looking at the scene from inside the manor. And he says, "Arrest the rest, send them to the brig, and come get me when these 3 are out of my town." And he storms off down the road back towards the city center.
Whoa.
Kind of
So
intense.
I'm just gonna say, so like, I'm exhausted. I think I need a long rest, and I'm sort of just gonna look to Belwyn to see what the vibe is, because I have seen some traumatic shit, and I'm just trying to like get through it right now. Or like, if Maximon has any thoughts, also like.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're kind of all I guess we're all like
Alon,
sort of in different places.
Alon has Alon has a hand on Belwyn's shoulder, because he's like, he's thanking you for providing the aid, and he also sort of stood by you with your pacifism. So he gets to a knee, and then he stands finally slowly, and he goes, "We should check on those inside. The Lord Mayor, she may be injured, and I hope that Feliadril has had luck healing her. He doesn't like to brag, but he's actually quite a skilled healer himself. She may have useful information for you 3 as you continue on your way. It seems that the hospitality of our small town has soured on you, and for that I am sorry. If it were up to me, you would be truly welcome here. But as we have seen, not everyone shares my openness."
Yeah, let's check it out.
All right, so you head back inside, enter the courtyard space, and you see Yorsi, the little halfling stewardess, is ushering you in, but you see along the ground a trail of blood that most likely came from that leg wound that Netheria suffered from that crossbow bolt, and it goes off into a little side room where a table has been cleared of all of the sort of plants and knickknacks and things that were on it, and has been turned into a sort of makeshift medical station where Feliadril has quite deftly and expertly removed the bolt and wrapped the wound, and seems really focused and just like steady and calm and in the zone, quite different from how he is talking to people or engaged in any sort of situation. In this sense, he seems very much so level-headed and comfortable with what he's doing. Alon explains what just happened outside. He explains Asher being taken out and the surrender of the other bandits. He explains Hosh's brutality and his merciless attack and murder of that young boy. And he explains him storming off at Belwyn's insistence on pacifism. Nytheria looks very tired, and she also seems quite upset at how the situation has dissolved. Oh, I felt for quite a long time that this town was pulling itself apart at the seams, but I never thought that it would come to this. I really only have myself to blame. I find that I have caused as much of the strife as I have attempted to heal in the past few years. But please, here, take this at least as a small token of my gratitude for what you have done. You've saved my lives and the lives of many in this village, and you have done well with Alon and Feliadril in the church. And she hands the party 100 gold. She doesn't divide it between you, but she leaves that up to you to divide amongst yourselves. It's a pouch with 100 gold in it, so who takes that?
I feel like Maximon would be the one who ends up taking it.
Yeah, I do have the most amount of money as of right now. So I mean,
Belwyn wouldn't really care too much about getting gold.
yeah, I'll take care of that. I already have a lot of important items, and why not just add to my collection? Thank you.
So Nytheria seems, relieved that at least everyone that she cared about survived. As much as she hates the bloodshed, she does seem relieved that Alon was saved in his moment of peril by Belwyn. And
Is there any chance you would lend my compatriots and I a boat so we could sail to the Forgotten Isle?
That was actually my next point. Unfortunately, my guards here have been working carefully on the investigation, and we have some quite troublesome news. So as we know, this woman Pafendria came into the town and bought a horse from our stables. Our scouts apparently have found a horse trail leading along the shores of the lake in the direction towards Iroayani. But the unfortunate part is that our scouts were hoping to reach out ahead of her path and reach the city much faster by boat. But it seems that either she or some accomplice thought ahead of this plans, and all of our watercraft have been deliberately sabotaged. They are not water ready at the moment, and I fear that they won't be for some time. The wood we use, it requires a delicate treatment to remain watertight. And with the strife in the village, I fear that it is low on the list of my priorities at the moment. I urge you to take the road to Iroayani. Hopefully, maybe you'll be able to catch her on the road. But at the very least, more than likely, she's heading to the city. There's a known and powerful faction of VFN operating in that city. And I would imagine that if she is in fact our culprit, she is heading there. I beg your help in this matter. I wish that this investigation be put to rest. The Justicars of Eidisfe operate out of the capital, Fein, and in Halodeus. If you do come upon her, if you are able to catch her or subdue her or forbid even kill her, please take the information to the Justicars.
I just I know that I have this connection with the orb. Do I kind of feel anything? Does it want this, or does it care, or?
You don't sense any sort of intent from it. You would have to look at it. You can't decipher it without really bringing it out and looking into it, having some sort of interaction with it.
Sure.
Give it a good look.
Okay. Could I just do that? I feel like it would, I don't know, before we commit to fully leaving Lysylia. Yeah. Okay, can I just do that really quickly?
You need to make an intelligence saving throw.
I got an 18 plus 2, so 20.
Maximon pulls out this orb, and instantly his eyes roll back in his head, and he's just holding this orb, but he seems to be like somewhere else. Like he's physically there, but he just seems to be mentally somewhere totally different. You have no idea what he's experiencing. I actually am going to ask if there's a way for Ben and Austin to mute me.
Ben, are you wearing headphones?
Yeah, I'm wearing headphones.
Yeah.
Ben and I can take off our headphones and then
Take
just
your
type in the
headphones
chat,
off for a moment.
and then just type in the chat when we can hop back in.
All right. Take
Wait,
your
hold on.
headphones off.
Wait. So remind me why I'm taking my headphones off right now. What's going on?
Because you can't see what Maximon is experiencing as he looks into the orb, and I don't want you to hear it in case it's information that Maximon chooses to not share with you right away. Like
Oh,
you,
shit.
Is he? Wait, do we see him doing this?
you see him doing it, yes, but it's not like you're experiencing the same thing that he is. All you're seeing is Maximon holding his orb, and his eyes are rolling back in his head, and he seems to be like, not responsive.
All right. I'm taking off my headphones now.
All right, cool. Taking them off.
All right. So Maximon, you are suddenly on top of what appears to be a massive spire. And out before you, you see a massive expanse of broken, black, and cragged land. Sharp, broken peaks, smoldering and smoking with malignant, evil energy. But you seem to be above it all on the top of this flat, obsidian surface that drops sharply at all edges. You turn slowly, noticing the landscape, taking in the stench of this land, when suddenly right before you is a figure clad in black robes that are rotting away. They appear almost so old that they seem like they would fall away into dust if you were even to touch them, but you cannot move. You can't quite see below the shroud of this figure. You make out edges and glimpses of pale skin or maybe bone beneath the shimmering robes, but you can't see under them. They're shrouded in complete darkness and shadow. But you hear, not coming from this figure, but coming from the orb that you still hold in your hand, you hear a voice almost creeping up your arm and through your body.
You have my eye. You have my eye. You have my eye. Bring me the other eye.
Fighting the urge to put the orb to your face, it seems to want to get into your head. And just as the orb creeps closer and closer to your face, you are suddenly snapped right back to the estate house in Lysylia, and you are back with the party.
Damn. Whoa.
Hello.
Hello.
Wow. Hi.
Okay, so let it be known, I'm still listening to this episode when it comes out in like 2 weeks or whatever. So Rob, if you're trying to pull some like long-term nonsense on us.
So you suddenly notice that Maximon's eyes return to normal, and he seems to his posture drops, and he seems like, oh, like, where am I? Like he suddenly just appeared, but he's been here the whole time, but in his mind he's suddenly like, oh, he's here again.
What did you see?
I'm not quite sure, actually.
Netheria seems particularly disturbed by this episode. You should know, as a student of the academy, you should know better than anyone not to meddle in deep speech. I warned you of its dangers and darknesses. You don't know who else is in contact.
I can't even, nothing in my studies could help me even wrap my head around this. I don't know exactly where we need to go, but I know that it's dark.
Yes, wherever there is darkness, this turtle will light it with the light of nature and spread this God's message.
Netheria seems disappointed in all of your willingness to continue to investigate this matter, but she sighs and says, I understand the allure of the unknown, of the darkness of this earth, but I warn you, if you follow the path that thing, and she's pointing at the orb, that thing leads you down, you will only find madness and destruction. Tread carefully, you intrepid trio.
Intrepid trio, that's sick. There's been a lot of good alliteration this episode, Dylan. The creepy cavernous caves. I don't remember what it is, but there's been a few times where it's been pretty alliterative.
With that, the Lord Mayor seems quite exhausted, and she says, I do hope you'll forgive me, but I do need to see to the official matters of cleaning up this mess and getting this town back together. I ask that you escort Alon and Feliadril out and discuss your plans with them. They will confide in me what is to be done next. But for now, I please ask that you head outside. I do need to see to many important documents and so much to do. And with that, the guards close in on you and walk you out the front doors, and Alon and Feliadril join you outside to discuss what is to be done next.
We got a decision in front of us, my companions. Belwyn will suggest let's get these two back to their church safely. They have had a long day.
Alon puts a hand on your shoulder and he says, Belwyn, you truly are a creature of magnificent character and strength, but I believe this is where our paths diverge. I talked to Feliadril while you discussed the matter with the Lord Mayor, and he too believes that we are in imminent danger. He understands the situation, and he will go to the capital city at Fayin, and he will venture across the Feywater Straits to Sudisfey to seek counsel with the Svidnian Academy of Arcana, hopefully to better suit our nation in the upcoming struggle against whatever it is that seeks to harness the power of this darkness. I will remain here in the town to see to its wounds and to the questions that our people may have, and to hopefully fight back at whatever darkness may creep in the time that Feliadril is gone. But it seems that our town's hospitality has left it, and I fear that our town is not a safe place for you to stay, even another night. We do want to give you these tokens of our gratitude and everything that you have done for us. Alon reaches into his pouch and he pulls out a candle. It's a candle that is a magnificent, deep, royal blue color. And he says, for you, Belwyn, this candle, if you find your people, if they be on land or under the sea, wherever you may be, it will light your way. It is called the Candle of the Deep, and whether air or water, it will shine as bright as any fire. Feliadril reaches into his bag. Cal, for your young spirit, your adventurous and determined outlook on the world, and your insecurity in things that break and things that may never be fixed again, I give you this. And he hands you a long rope. It's a very fine rope, and it's got many threads woven into it. He says, look, and he pulls out a knife and he cuts an end of the rope. And then he takes the two cut ends, and they seem broken, they're split, but he touches them together and you see them weave themselves back to a completely formed, completely solid rope. This is the rope of mending. You can cut it to any size, to any shape, but if you touch the ends together, they will always hold strong. And he hands it to you.
That's sick. That's so interesting. Okay, I gotta think of like ways to use that panga. Okay, I'm gonna just put that around my shoulders and like attach the ends of it together so I have like an infinite loop rope like going around my my like torso somehow.
Just so you know, meta, it's 50 feet of rope.
Oh shit. Okay, then it's like, can I like attach it specifically so I've got like rope like wrapped around like my like furs and shit in like some kind of a thing? I don't know, like it's wrapped, it's like hanging like shoulder to hip.
It's like a bandolier. I get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly what I'm picturing yet, but like if I can attach the ends of it, I'm assuming I can just kind of like wrap it around me a few times and like attach it, and I know it won't like fall. Like, but I never need to like untangle it, dude, because I can just cut it. I can just grab a knife, cut it, and like tie it right there. And then if I like whatever, just cut it and attach it again. Like I don't have to like untangle that shit ever. Right? Sort of.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I have an idea about that. You know what I was thinking, Ben? This just came to mind, and you're talking about that, like Nordic knots, but also like a mandala. So maybe you're like weaving it, but you're not afraid to like cut it and start again.
Yo, that's sick. So I can make like possible shapes.
Yeah, just
Basically.
like you're
Like, I can
meditating
make, like,
or something.
Infinite loop like patterns. That's sick. All right. Okay, plot point or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Is okay. I'm gonna say that this is one of the things that my my Nordic or Manorhad mother like trained me to do as like a kid. Is I got to learn like the ancient knots of my people.
Yeah, because your family were traders and they were sailors, so like knots were super important.
Yeah, and they're like passed down in like my mom's like family or whatever. So I now have this like super cool rope, and because of this training, I am able to make like these cool northern pattern knot like rope armor around me, kind of. And I want it to give me +1 to my armor class.
I will concede that you can fashion it into a shield, like a knot, like basically like a huge circular woven knot shield.
Okay, all
We
right.
can figure out. We'll figure out the specific stats. We'll figure out the specific stats of it, but it'll definitely be good. Like it'll be hefty.
No, that's fine. No, well, you know what? It doesn't have to be crazy hefty. It could just count as like a buckler or something, because one of my traits is that I can still do my unarmored defense, and I can use shields. So I can still use my dex and my constitution modifier and basically just say I'm wearing pelts, but I can get a shield bonus.
It's made of knots, and like if you get attacked a lot and you deflect with the shield, I'll come up with some rules where like its armor class will like go down, but then if you in a turn, if you choose, you can like mend it and like set it back to like, you know, like full shield. Like the shield almost has like health in a sense. I'll figure out some meta stuff like later.
So I have a cool idea for that. It can we were overthinking it. Like we can just have it wrapped around my forearms like bracers, but I can block with
That's
them.
just what I was gonna say. Yeah, it'd
Yeah.
be sweet to have it just wrapped around your forearm or something.
True.
We'll just say that I have it like into 2 pieces, and it's wrapped around my forearms. Like all 50 feet of it is wrapped around my forearms like bracers. But so it just basically counts as me having a buckler. That's cool.
So-
That's perfect.
Feliadril, seeing the excitement in the party's eyes at their gifts, he says, I must prepare for my journey in the morning. I will go back to the church and get some rest, but it has been truly an honor to get to know all of you, and I wish you luck on your journey. And he bows and he heads back towards the church.
Can I just attach the candle onto my turtle shell?
Yeah,
So-
like melt the wax a little and like
Yeah.
glue it on. Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah.
Now it is just the 3 of you and Alon. And for the first time you really look at him and you really see the age of this man. You realize that while before you thought this is maybe someone in their 40s or 50s, really looking at this man, you notice he's in his early 70s at the earliest. And for the first time in getting to know him and meeting him, you see the lines in his face and the wariness of his eyes, and you see the grayness of his hair and his beard, and he seems less strong in his posture, but there's a resolve in his eyes that seems hopeful and thankful for having met you. And he reaches his hand out and he gives each of you a firm and strong handshake with meaningful eye contact and a reassuring nod. And without another word, he turns and he follows Feliadril back to the church. You look up at the clock on the town hall and you see it reads just after 3. And just with that, you find yourself standing before the town square and a fountain. Are you adventurers? Are you adventurers?
Yeah, for sure. I didn't realize you
here.
wanted us to like respond.
Come in! And you see a small elven man standing in the doorway of what now you can tell is a general store. It says above the sign, it says Ecrion's Trade Goods, and small, scratched in the wood below it, and Jormish's Blacksmith Goods. Come in, come in!
What business do you have with us?
Business? I don't have business, I have goods! I have goods. We have goods, Ecrion. You hear coming from a large orc stoking a billowing fire in the back corner of this trade store. I've got weapons and armor, and he's got useless trinkets and junk. It's not junk. They're adventurers. It's for their adventures.
I personally don't need anything, but I don't know about my compatriots.
Yeah, I've got this mace, which I think is just such a brutal and like ugly weapon. Can I get like a dagger or something? I'm like, I ditch this.
Ecrion goes, Jormush! He wants to sell a weapon. Jormush comes plodding over to you. He's a big, heavy set orc with thick shoulders and arms from working the blacksmith's forge. He grabs the mace and he sort of looks at it. And he grunts. I'll give you 3 gold pieces for it.
Sure, fine, but do you have daggers for sale?
Yo, don't you want something bigger? They don't go splat when you hit them with a dagger.
And no, I want a dagger.
Okay, well, if you'd like a dagger, that'll be 5 gold pieces.
Yeah, let's do it. I ditch the mace to get the dagger. Okay, great. Thank you.
Are you sure none of you need any adventuring gear? I've got glass bottles and I've got rope. You look
Okay,
like
cool.
you like rope.
I've got plenty of rope. Thank you.
Always
So
use
I'm
some
gonna.
more rope.
All right, so I'm gonna go over to Maximon and I'm gonna be like, all right, I need some money. Like, I don't need, I'm not saying you need to give me my whole cut, but like, come on, like you just collected all the gold they were given to all of us. Like, give me some so I can go buy some supplies.
How much do you need?
I don't know. Do you want me to go figure out the cost and then like report back to you like I'm a child? I look kind of like annoyed, like I'm a little like whatever.
Yes.
Do you need to see a menu, young man? Can he read?
Get him a menu.
Elvin
I don't know if he can
Brethren,
read.
Can he read?
I don't know if he can read.
I can't read Elvish.
I have a menu in common.
I can read Common, yeah.
You must be so proud.
Okay, you know what? I don't need this. Okay, I'm getting in a frustrated mood.
Here, he hands you a piece of parchment paper, and on it you can see that Ecrion sells candles, tankards, buckets, ladders, parchment, oil flasks, hempen rope, arrows, crossbow bolts, shovels, crowbars, glass bottles, ink pens, mirrors, lanterns, journals, hunting traps, locks, ink bottles, potions of healing, and a spyglass. Jormush also goes,
I don't have a menu. If you want something, ask. If I have it, I have it. If I don't, I don't.
Okay, like what kind of survival gear is there specifically? Is there anything?
Survival gear, well, a crowbar could come in handy for opening things, or hunting traps if you get hungry on the road.
Yeah, cool. I'll grab a hunting trap. Is that like a big metal thing, or is that more like
Yeah,
a
it's like,
snare or
you know,
something?
bear trap.
Oh, it's like a bear trap. Oh, dang. Okay, I'm gonna take a bear trap because I could like lay that in a. We could trap like a monster with that. I'm gonna get a bear trap as long as it's not like crazy heavy. If I can just put it in my backpack or whatever, like tie it to my backpack, I'm gonna take it.
I have 3 for sale. They're 8 gold each.
I just need one. I think I just need one bear trap.
That'll be 8 gold, please.
I got it.
Thank you. You are so polite. I love your cloak, by the way.
Thank you. How much would you pay me for it?
Ooh, I would have to get it appraised. It just catches the eye.
I'll just take it at that. Thank you. I was just, I would never sell it to anyone such as yourself, but sometimes I'd like to know.
I'm smarter than I let on.
You need anything, Cal? Can I get you anything else, bud?
All right, I'm not appreciating, being spoken to like this, but also, no, I don't need anything. So I'm just gonna kind of like turn away in like a huff.
Outside, you hear a clap of thunder, and you notice that rain starts to come down on the roof of the house.
Bellin didn't even go inside. He's just been waiting outside the door.
He's just getting rained on.
Yeah, but his candle's still burning on his turtle shell.
Yeah.
'Cause he can't even go in the rain.
Do you have any little treats that could appease this little aquatic friend of ours?
Well, let me think. Treats as in food or as in a fun present?
Yeah, fun present. Let's get him a fun present. Don't you think, Cal?
I'm over like standing arms crossed next to Belwyn. Like I just stormed. I'm like I'm going back to the turtle.
You hear another rumble of thunder outside. Well,
yeah, let's get one for the Thunder Boy too.
Here, to go with that rope, how about a grappling hook?
Yeah, that sounds sweet.
Shows you a nice meaty-looking metal hook.
Okay,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm trying to act all like tough and be like, like fuck you, Maximon, like whatever. And I'm gonna see the grappling hook and I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, okay, I definitely need one of those. And I'm gonna like, come back over and get one.
It'll be 15 gold.
Yeah, okay, got it. I got it for my buddy. He's got it.
For your turtle friend, perhaps he likes to make things or keep
Okay.
pets.
Oh, keep pets. Yeah. Hey, what do you got in
Many.
terms of pets?
There's many uses for glass bottles. You never know what you might need to put in a bottle.
Did you say he could get a pet?
Nah,
You
he
might
means
find
like
pets.
he could catch some bugs or something, or some like fireflies to go with his candle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's get some. I'd like some of those glass bottles. So yeah, yes.
I have 9 of them, and they are 2 gold each.
Let's go with 3. And
There
that's,
you go. That will be 6 gold.
Perfect. I love it. Do you have anything in black?
Roll persuasion.
Okay. I got a 1.
I just simply would not be seen dead in black. It's so... it's so third era.
This is crazy. I'm not even like offended, because it's like if like a dog were to offend you, you'd be like, okay, fine. I can talk. You know what I mean?
Well, I suppose I could let you in on this little secret I've been cooking up.
All right. Yeah.
Jormush the blacksmith rolls his eyes and walks back over to his forge. But you'll have to pay me for the information.
Well, how much?
I don't know. How does 40 gold sound?
No, we have to leave here.
You can't get a read on Ekrion, the elvish storekeeper, but you look over at Jormush and you see from the otherwise very intimidating, strong-looking orc, you actually see a flash of nervousness go across his face, and he's glancing back over at you almost as if he really doesn't want you to continue your conversation with Ekrion.
Oh man. Is Cal standing there?
I think Cal went outside, right?
I went wherever Belwyn is.
So I think it's just you and the 2 shopkeepers.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
standing outside.
Outside of the
I gotta
rain.
get out of here. I gotta get out of here.
I'll make you 20 gold. 20 gold.
No, I gotta leave.
10. You drive a hard bargain.
Okay. Yeah. Here's the 10.
Just because I love rumors. Jormush is gonna hate this. He hates when I talk about it.
I said stop talking about my brother.
So Jormush's brother lives with a band of goblins out in the hills. Jormush makes them weapons. And they've been stealing from travelers for weeks now.
They have not been stealing. They are trying to create a camp. They need ground. They need resources. They need defenses. It's a noble journey. Orcs practice the nomadic ways in our homelands. My brother seeks to do that here in Eodisfe. Why is it such a shameful thing to provide the goblins with tools to make their camps work?
Well, it's not the tools that I'm concerned with, friend. And he draws you in a little closer. It's all the treasure that they've been hoarding. You see, what Jormush won't tell you, that I managed to piece together, is that his brother used to come around at regular intervals. Once every 2 weeks, he'd come by and get some shovels and pickaxes and the occasional axe or longsword or two. But his brother hasn't been here in 2 months. Now, I think that Groker, the old orc, got the idea to try to make off with the treasure himself. And I think those goblins ate him up.
My brother did not get eaten by the goblins. He is trying to help.
Say what you will, big guy. I think old Groker might have helped his last goblin.
Okay, and do I know where this camp would be?
Oh, I just might be able to part with a bit of a map. If you would do something for me.
What do you want?
Well, I'm running a bet with Jormush. I bet that the goblins ate his brother up, turned him into stew, because he was going to steal all their treasure. And Jormush seems to think that his brother found the goblins a nice little spot in the hills, a cave somewhere nice and cozy, and simply hasn't come around because they're amassing an army to invade the town. If you go and find that old Groker has been turned into a stew, I will give you a poisoner's kit.
What? Oh, okay. So that is just a kit full of poison?
It's a kit for making poison.
It's like a chem kit for freaks.
Oh, wow. Oh, man.
For
Okay.
freaky deaky murder people.
Whoa, okay, yeah. The whole time I'm thinking, like, oh, we should just give this map to the guy that's, like, our troll friend, our dwarf friend.
Hey. Dwarves and trolls. Different situations here.
Same thing. No, okay.
No.
You notice
I
that
take offense.
you notice that the lockbox that Ecrion clearly uses for the gold and things that he does his trade goods with, you notice that it's open. You also notice that it's kind of obscured from view from where Ecrion is standing, and Jormush has his back turned to it. He's standing at his forge. He's trying to kind of ignore the conversation that's going on, and you see, peeking out of the corner of the lockbox is a little edge of a piece of parchment paper, and it looks like it's got some trees and paths and hills scribbled onto it. And Ecrion is so enveloped in his conversation that he doesn't really even seem to be paying attention to you anymore. He just seems to be paying attention to his own gesticulations as he talks about all the magnificent things he's managed to make with this kit.
Oh, wow. So are you suggesting that I try to steal this little map?
If you want to roll sleight of hand, maybe.
All right, yeah. You know what? I'll go for it. Why not? Okay, I got a 16.
Ooh. So you just, kind of creep your fingers down the desk of the store towards the little lockbox, and you're kind of eyeing Ecrion, and, you're following the path of his hands and his eyes as he sort of just, absent-mindedly rants about, the benefits of arsenic over cyanide or whatnot. And you just, with 2 fingers, you just grab the little edge of the paper, and with one swift motion, you achoo! And you put the paper into your hood as you put your head into your elbow. you have the map.
You know what, bud? Thanks for the advice, but this really isn't my business. I'm kind of upset that I already gave you all that money, and I really think I gotta go.
Thank you. God, finally an elf who doesn't give in to this crap. He loves to talk. He never stops talking. I don't know why I agreed to go into business with him.
And then the two start yelling at each other, and they're having this squabble as you back slowly out the store and close the door. And now you find yourself outside in the rain with Cal and Belwyn.
I think moments before, I just wanted to have a quick little dialogue with Cal as they were standing out in the rain, and Belwyn, I guess, is kind of whatever Maximon's doing inside. Belwyn looks over at Cal and just says, "We must make a decision on where our journey will go next, and I think it is your turn to decide, young one, where we venture onward to."
That's a lot of responsibility for Cal. I guess I'm gonna say I don't know, man. Belwyn, to be honest, I've just had an overwhelming day. I started pantsing myself in front of everybody, and
is that not how you greet and honor people? Is with presenting yourself to them?
Nah, Belwyn, usually you keep your pants on, if I'm being honest. That was my bad. Yeah, but, apart from that, got to see some townsfolk get absolutely butchered by the dwarf that I kind of looked up to. And I also, full-on murdered 2 people, basically. So,
Rick fucking killed a guy.
You might want to lay low for a while.
Yeah, I'm just exhausted. I'm just look, I don't know what's going on here. Now it's raining. It always freaking rains.
Another crackle of thunder overhead, right as Cal makes that inflection of freaking rain, the frustration.
I'm just kind of fed up.
I think you need to figure out what it is you desire out of this journey with me, Cal. You cannot aimlessly wander and hope to find yourself. You need to set your sights onto something.
So, if I'm making the call, can I get a refresher on sort of what our options are?
So they had that conversation while you were inside. I'm thinking Belwyn just said that to Cal, and now Maximon burst out of the shop. Would you like to present this map? Cal is I'm about to make this decision. I'd like a refresher on our options. But does Maximon have anything to present the group with?
Yes. Yes. Just because Maximon has sensed that he's annoyed Cal with his financial thing, and it's not even so much that he's upset about annoying him, but he realizes how interesting Belwyn is, and he's I need to maintain this, but he also thinks that he could kind of finesse getting what he wants with the orb. Would I know, am I familiar with the map?
Yes, you are. I'm going to assume because Maximon has studied at the academy, has probably pored over maps. He has an understanding of the world geography. He has a rough understanding of where certain places are. The maps that you're working with in this world are sort of the Here Be Monsters type, parchment maps that are partial and slightly inaccurate, but have a rough positioning of things. So you definitely have an idea.
Yeah. Okay. So I overhear Belwyn giving Cal this decision. First, I want to hand them their gifts. I hand Cal his grappling hook, and I hand Belwyn his little jars. Not only
Belwyn just was kind of confused at receiving some empty jars.
I picture Belwyn putting them on the tips of his fingers and clanking them together.
Warriors.
Yeah, we were about to say.
Yeah.
Have to play, yay. Yeah, so Belwyn doesn't really know what to do with them, but I guess he puts them on in his bag thing.
In addition to that, I have I suppose two things to tell you. First of all, I have this map of a place in which I believe we can find treasure and a goblin army. And I hand the map to, I guess, Belwyn to kind of see, like, do you recognize any of this? I believe the orb wants to go to the land of Mephistophsis.
I don't know if it's wise to follow where the orb wants to go, but it could be the chance to slay a dark beast.
Okay, so I guess my question is so my two options were what and Goblin Army?
Right now you're looking at three kind of options. The map that Maximon hands you is detailing, you can see
I'm looking at it right
Lysylia,
now.
where you are. The goblin encampment is shown to be somewhere in the hills on the way to Insha'asi. And so that's roughly the direction that you would be heading in order to pursue this goblin encampment that you've heard about with this rumored treasure.
And isn't that also where that elven woman was said to be heading towards?
No, the elven woman is said to be heading towards Iro Ayani, along the Lakeshore Road. So you can see the Forgotten Isle in the middle of Lake Iro, and you can see the Lakeshore Road going up to Iro Ayani.
I guess my question is, do I know, how do goblins relate to orcs? Because orcs are kind of part of society here, right? Cal would be interested in orcs. Are goblins, are they evil? Are they related to orcs? Like, what's their situation?
They are. They're related to orcs. They're kind of like a different sort of offshoot, but in a lot of Ket, there are goblins that live among goblins and hobgoblins that live among the orcs. Besides for Ket, where the traditional ways are practiced and the tribal lands are protected, goblins are very much so viewed as a menace and more outside civilization. Like, they're viewed.
So this is like a rogue. This is like a rogue. Okay.
That's how they're viewed. They're definitely they're not welcome in cities. They're not welcome in towns. Like, they're feared by people. But in Ket, the orcs get along with goblins and hobgoblins very well because they respect that they come from a way of living that is different from elves and humans and dwarves, and they try to make their cities have a place that welcomes and encourages goblin lifestyles where human and elven cities do not. They're vehemently against letting goblins and goblinoids and hobgoblins into their cities because they view them they almost view them just as as monsters, as creatures of the wilderness.
Got it. Okay, so in that case, I am totally gonna want to follow the elvish woman, along the lake, because that's gonna seem like a more important thing to Cal. He doesn't really care about going and get treasure right now. He wants to get to the bottom of what was going down. So that's what I'm gonna tell Belwyn.
I will follow you and aid you in this then.
Okay, wait.
I'm gonna say, is that cool with you, Maximon?
Well, I guess I don't I understand this orb has this effect on me, and it's really intoxicating, but I also, Maximon would understand that we are not ready to deal with this issue.
I will say, to all of you, the idea of going to Mephistophsis, high key terror.
Yeah.
Nobody just goes to Mephistophsis.
Wait, what is Mephistophsis?
You want to take a guess where I think we need to go for this orb?
Okay, so how about this? If you know we're getting there anyway, that is some big picture stuff. I don't think you care what town we go to next, because either way we need to get a ship to go down there. So I feel like you'd just be all right, yeah, whatever. That's not the long game. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I don't care where we go right now. I think I just want to stay with you two because of, I guess, my interest, and I'm not going to part with this orb. I want to, see it through, but I understand it's long game stuff.
You have decided to follow the trail of Pythendria towards Iro Ayani. With Cal's final decision, and with the party reaching a consensus on their long-term and short-term plans, they head out along the shore of Lake Iro, almost seeing the Forgotten Isle just far out into the lake. They can see almost the glimmer of shores in the distance. Belwyn feeling some strange longing as they walk for a few hours as it approaches 3, 4, 5, and just as the sun begins to set, they set camp on the shores of the lake, and they have a fire. Cal catches a few fish. Belwyn enjoys some local kelp and lake grass, a salad, and they sit at the fire. And I'll let you wrap it up how you want.
Well, friends, it's been a hell of a day.
Maximon's dreams are haunted by visions of a black tower, of blood skies and dark seas, of cracked mountains and smoking lands, and of a figure beckoning to him, "Bring me my eye."